first of all, the environment in this game was probably the best of the 3 years that I've coached in it. It was, thank our fans because they stood behind us, and a lot of passion and energy in those stands. And those fans follow us everywhere, and I appreciate what they do. This group of men is as tough as they come. They're very resilient. They had to listen for 2 weeks to everything that was wrong with them, everything they did wrong, and everything they hadn't done right. And that probably was the motivating factor, because at the end of the day, they get affected by what people say about them. And we just went to work, and we did improve in some areas. And we are most undoubtedly a work in progress, because we still have a lot of areas to improve in. We got to continue to play better on defense, but we created some turnovers. We got to cash the ball in on offense, and especially when it counts, and not have to kick field goals. But these kids are resilient to go out in the second half and have the opening kickoff returned, and then one play, 2 plays, I don't know, they score, take the lead, and they answered the bell offensively right down the field. I thought that was a big, big drive in the game to open up the second half after they scored. But we got some tough kids, and these kids are bought into doing things the right way, and they continue to work hard. They'll continue to get better.
Kirby, the offense frustrated on the goal line, 6 runs, couldn't get it in.
Absolutely.
But then they came back with 2 great drives, touchdown drives to put it away. What would you say?
We just got to score from further out. You think they were frustrated? I mean, you got to get the ball inside the one. You know, give them credit. They had a great defensive stand, but to have that many snaps and not get in it falls right here with me. It's an indictment on me. We got to practice goal line more. We got to do things that maybe are a little looser, you know, to help them out. But we certainly didn't want to have to run the ball outside all the time, and we did that once down there and it didn't work. And we couldn't punch it in. So give them credit. We'll have to get it fixed. That was definitely frustrating.
Jeremiah obviously had a big game for you, and the 3rd and 11 that he got the 15 yards to continue that drive when you ultimately put it away. Can you just talk about those situations in the game he had?
Yeah, I thought that the critical 3rd downs on several drives. You know, Jake made good throws. We ended up 8 of 14 on 3rd down. And I know in the first half we weren't that good, so a lot of those were second half 3rd down conversions. J.J. Holloman is a worker, guys. This guy comes in, meets, lifts, works out, blocks, plays on special teams, and he never says a word. He just works, and it paid off for him today. I mean, he has a good rapport with Jake. He feels comfortable with him, and he made some catches. You know, and hey, he overcame a lot too. The opening play of a drive, we throw a 5-yard hitch out there, and he caught it, dropped it. The guy got it off of him. Whatever happened, but he didn't let that affect him. And that's where, to me, the mental conditioning of this team continues to grow. But I'm not going to let one play affect me. I'm going to keep overcoming it and keep chopping wood.
Kirby, you mentioned Jake. Obviously, a lot of the players alluded to his confidence in this game, especially after bouncing back, struggling against LSU. What did you think about the way he played?
I thought Jake's a competitor. You know, Jake works as hard as anybody on our team. He believes in the players around him. He understands what we're trying to do offensively, and he did a good job dealing out the ball when he had an opportunity. He made some big throws tonight to some guys that were open and some guys that were in tight coverage. Jake continues to get better.
What'd you make of that touchdown to Terry? I mean, that was one of his best throws in a while. Can you remember that?
Yeah, I thought it was a great throw. I mean, no, you talking about the one Terry in the corner over there? As far as what was, I thought it was a great
sort of cinched the game.
Okay, first of all, I think it was a good call. Let's give some credit there, because Jim made a really good call. They put a package in that Cortez had talked about doing. I mean, it was a good offensive staff decision. Now, I know the kid had to go execute and make the throw, but it was a good route too. That guy was man-to-man covered, and Terry is one of the best at creating and getting open on off coverage. And I thought he got open, and Jake made a clutch throw. You know, you guys won't talk about it, but on that play, Charlie Warner had to go block by himself, like Isaac Nowell did on Tennessee play when they finally would have picked it up, and he was on probably one of the best defensive ends in the SEC. So if you want to give some credit to somebody, think about Charlie Warner being one-on-one with a great pass rusher.
Coach, you talking about the resiliency. How much of today was about younger players that maybe hadn't done it before with their backs to the wall? So many young guys on this team.
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys on this team. I mean, I was sitting in a meeting last night, and I'm sitting here going, Mel's going to call out on 3 guys to do what we call signal callers, which is go over notes of the game, and we make the players present to the team. Jordan Davis stands up and goes over short yards goal line. Brenton Cox stands up and goes over the pass rush plan. Tyson Campbell stands up and goes over the tricks and gimmicks, and I'm about to have a heart attack back there because I'm going, these 3 guys are standing up, and you know, you're used to your older guys being able to do those. And those 3 true freshmen played a lot of snaps. And youth is a good thing because they listen and they learn, but they also grow up and get better. And it's frustrating because there's plays out there that we made in the past that we didn't make in this game. And youth should never be an excuse.
Kirby, you said most of all, you guys are a work in progress. What concerns you most right now about the team?
Rushing defense. I mean, we played better tonight. We played better, and that was a good team. But rushing defense concerns me. Tackling. You know, I get frustrated. I don't know. I probably should reserve judgment until I watch the tape. But there's so many times we have 2 people in the right position, 1 blocker, 2 people, and the guy with the ball in hand beats the guy to the leverage he shouldn't get beat. If we have 2-on-1, we should win that battle. And there's just numerous times. We felt like at halftime we had like 8 second longs, so we won first down. But then we had like 3 or 4 third and ones again. You got to make the second longs either 3rd and long or at least 3rd and 5 or 6. So we're a work in progress there. Obviously on offense, we're still, spark plug here, we'll explode, and then we'll go drive for a second. We've got to be more consistent offensively, and the goal line work. Obviously, red area, we got to find a way to get the ball in.
Coach, drive the end of the first half was how important do you think that was, just considering the scoring situation there, and then you were getting down to time, looked like you were going to try another play, and then you decided to go with a field goal. Just that whole sequence, I think, was pretty important to you.
Yeah, it was real important. I mean, first thing, go back to I made it a conscious decision because we talked on the headphones to not call a timeout and let it go down. We didn't know their punter's pretty good. We didn't know how far he would back us up. So it was a minute 37 when the guy was tackled. So we're saying at best they're going to punt it around a minute. We're going to get it back with 50 seconds. Well, then it hits the wire. So I'm thinking they're going to have to re-kick it, and then they'll burn more time. But I didn't realize they were going to set the time back on it. So that helped us from that standpoint. They put the time back. I think we ended up getting the ball around 50 seconds and had 2 timeouts. We wanted the ability to run the ball whenever we wanted to on that drive because it makes the defensive coordinator play completely different when he knows you can run the ball. He can't do some of the pass rush stuff he does. But it ended up in hindsight, we were going to go to half with our timeouts, which is never good. So we probably should have burned it and used it. But that last decision was some things we work on, and we have a couple plays that we feel like we can get off in less than 6 seconds to take a look. And if you trust your quarterback, you do it. We've watched a lot of NFL tape, but at the end of the day, we decided to go in with the momentum and kick the field goal.
Coach, to follow up on Jake Fromm, I mean, I know that you've heard a lot about the situation throughout the past few weeks. What is his performance tonight? What does that say about the trust y'all had in him throughout these past 2 seasons?
Well, first off, I haven't, because I really, really ignore the noise. I don't get into that because I don't think it helps me make a good decision. The decisions that we make for our team at all positions should be based on what happens at practice, what happens in games, and how the flow of the game's going. But the outside noise probably affects the players a lot more than it affects me because I have to make decisions based on what affects our organization the right way. And Jake Fromm is a high-character kid that works his tail off every day, and I'm sure he felt and heard the noise. And Jake Fromm continues to work and get better. Justin Fields continues to work and get better too. For the last 2 weeks, that kid got a lot of reps and he got better. And I'm disappointed he didn't get an opportunity to play, and I'm sure he's disappointed too. But he is a competitor and he continues to get better. We have a situation where we have 2 what I think are really good quarterbacks.
Kirby, I'm sure you would have preferred to leave Thomas on the sideline. How is he and how's Baker? Andrew Thomas, he had to come back in the game.
I would prefer to leave him on the sideline. I prefer for him to be in the game.
No, I mean, given the fact that he was a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering if he could have played the rest of the time. You know, he elected to come back in the game. So, I mean, obviously, I want Andrew in there anytime he thinks he can go. But he was willing to go. I think he's fine. I think Kendall's fine too. I don't know if there's any major injuries there. But I was proud of Kendall Baker. Here's a kid who started, played all these games last year, and he's been resilient. He continues to work. He doesn't pout and whine. He just plays all the positions on the front. And then you plug and play in an SEC game with a guy at tackle who, he got a few reps at tackle during the week, but Kate works some at that tackle. He just goes in the game and plays and play pretty good.
As a coach, how satisfying is it when you can see your offense kind of assert their will at the tail end like the offense did with DeAndre's touchdown run?
It's such a pleasure because you know that physicality has come over time. They earned that physicality, and we talked about earning this victory. It would not be bought on discount. We would not get it discounted. We had to earn it, and we did. We made it difficult. We had multiple situations that we could have gone up by more scores, but the kids just kept fighting, and the O-line kind of took over there in the end.
How much confidence did it display, I guess, in your secondary, your defense, when you could have gone for it on fourth down, you could have gambled on fourth down deep in Florida territory instead of punting? Is that just your confidence in your secondary and your defense that with field position, they can control Florida?
Well, I felt like we were playing good in the second half outside of the first drive, and you want to keep momentum going there and play field position battle. And to be honest, I wanted Jake to get some rhythm. I mean, he hasn't got it. I'm talking about Camarda getting a chance to knock those balls down inside the 5 like Cam did, and Miko made a hell of a play, and it was a hell of a kick to pin it back there and end up paying off for us, because I think we got a turnover off that one.
When you talked about your defense, how they made you feel when they presented those situations to you, can you remember a time in your career when youth made you feel that way on your defense?
No, I'm not. I mean, the years I was coordinator, I never called on 3 true freshmen. That was Mel's decision. I mean, we spent time letting the older players explain things, but all 3 of them did a really good job. It was just an acknowledgement that here are 3 players that are playing a major role, and they're getting better.
To ask about another younger kid, I mean, Malik Herring, I know you talked about how he works on the scout team and then he comes in the game and does well. I mean, with David Marshall being out, he was in there a good bit in and had the 2 tackles in the 4th fumble. How did his performance kind of give us spark in the first half?
Yeah, Malik works really hard. Malik's a good athlete. Malik has played well in the games he's played. I think that we're getting a little bit of return on the investment of how much we had to play so many defensive linemen early in the year. And Malik was in a rotation in Missouri. He was in a rotation in South Carolina. So he's playing more and more, and he did a good job. I mean, I have to watch the tape. I know the fumble you're referring to, but those guys as a unit, that's the group that's got to step up for us. That D-line group has got to control the line of scrimmage, be dominant, so that we can play the style of defense we want to play. And they did a better job today, but we've got to clean up tackle on the second level better.
Kirby, I noticed that Ben, you ruled him out earlier in the week, but he made a trip with you guys here, and Robert Bill didn't. Just wanted to see what was up there.
Yeah, that's just a decision for us. I mean, I never ruled anybody completely out. I didn't think Ben would be able to play. He didn't play, but Robert had a funeral to go to, so you guys don't need to overreact about all that. You know.
Speaking about playing the style. You speak about playing the style of defense that you want to play. How much does getting turnovers like you got in this game really contribute to that and kind of play a part in it?
Well, turnovers are big. We needed to get some turnovers. We've been preaching it, and this was a team that they got a lot, and we talked about it all the time. Our defense is against their defense. So we pit the 2 defenses against each other and say, hey, why do they have more turnovers than us? So why can't we get these turnovers? Why can't we force these turnovers? You know, and turnovers come in bunches, and we got a good bit of them today.
2 more questions. Did it feel like a 19
Real good defense, Kirby. Swift and Holyfield's running tonight against a real physical defense. What did you say about that? They kept getting it out, though.
Those guys are competitors. I mean, we finally listened to you guys and gave them the ball, right?
Did it feel like a 19-point win at the end of the day?
It felt like it could have been more, but it felt a lot tighter than that. You know, I mean, the LSU game didn't feel like it was as bad a loss as it was, because it was 19-9 at some point. But regardless of the outcome and the score, big thing for our kids is they were very resilient and kept fighting.
Thank you.